Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the Abrazo Mate football channel. It's Blaine, and the other day, all this Lukaku back to inner business has had me, torn up a little bit, but not really. I feel like I win either way, but either way, the other day I made a video when it was first announced and reacting to some of the media. I was a little bit heated. I didn't really want to put the video up, but I've decided, there's been several Chelsea themed videos that I've done that I've never put up. So today I'm going to put up the first one where I kind of make an argument against Lukaku getting flack for failing and deciding to leave a club. Enjoy. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Abrazo Mate football podcast. I'm doing a solo shot today. Just had to talk briefly about the breaking news. One of my favorite players, Lukaku, who came from Inter to Chelsea, is now going back to Inter on a loan move. So the question is, all these pundits are talking, was this good business? Is this bad business? Is Lukaku a mastermind to get the sale and then go back to Inter on the low when the club Inter couldn't afford him and they had to sell him for money? So I just kind of want to give my thoughts on the situation as it happened. So let's talk about the way he left Inter. So real cliff notes, he left Inter. Inter were selling assets to make money because they wanted to invest in other places, or as they would put it, they couldn't afford to keep players. So they sold Lukaku, they sold Hakimi. They made close to 200 million off of those two sales, the PSG and Chelsea. And they continued on and finished second place in Serie A this season. Chelsea, for their part, the talk was Lukaku is the missing puzzle piece. Let's bring him to Stamford Bridge, plug him into a Champions League winning team, and go on and win the league and get a treble or a quadruple or whatever you want. The question that everyone's still asking today is, who sanctioned the transfer? Was it Roman? Was it Marina? Was it Thomas Tuchel? Was it somebody on the board? He started at Chelsea. It's kind of a slow start. He was doing decent. Then there was an injury. Then there was the Sky Sports Italia interview that came out in December, and the subsequent benchings and riffs and eventual apology to the Chelsea fans and coach or manager Thomas Tuchel. So my thoughts up until that point were the interview was a bad move, but anybody who knew what was going on could understand that he was just making an appeal to the Inter fans to kind of soften the blow that he had to leave. And if everything was transparent, then maybe Inter could have explained to the fans that we had to sell him because we needed money for other things, and Chelsea offered us 100 million or 115 million euros, 199 million pounds, whatever. Stupid money. Like, we had to take this money. It would be like a dereliction of our responsibilities to our shareholders if we didn't take this money. So we had to take the money, right? So now the question is, after a failed season and a riff with the coach, how is it coming to a point that Chelsea has to sell him? A lot of Chelsea fans say good riddance. A lot of Chelsea fans say, he sucked. No player is bigger than the badge. No player is bigger than the team. And I would like to play devil's advocate to that. Is a manager bigger than the team? Is a manager bigger than the club? People will say Lukaku's on a 5-year contract and he's making big money. He needs to perform. I would say the coach is also on a long-term contract, getting paid a lot of money, and he needs to perform. People will say $100 million striker needs to be able to adapt and fit a system. To which I would say it wasn't his decision to be sold for $100 million. That was Chelsea's decision to do that. Maybe they should have had that conversation before they bought him. At the same time, a coach that's making $15 million a season, maybe it's up to him to adapt to a new striker that was purchased with the hopes of having him change the fate of the club to maybe win more silverware. And I guess they did technically win 2 trophies, but they didn't get the ones or any of the ones that people would have expected, and they were a long ways off of finishing as far as the title race goes. I mean, they finished 3rd, but they were a long ways off. So those are just some of my thoughts. It's people will say, if you come to a club for a certain fee, you gotta produce. And my only argument is you didn't choose to come to the club for that amount of money. You chose to come to the club for the salary you get paid, but at the same time, the manager decided to come to that club also for the salary that he gets paid. So why is the onus always put on the player to say, for example, oh, you need to adapt to what the coach wants because you're not bigger than the club, but why can't it be the coach needs to adapt to what the star player needs because he's not bigger than the club? And from my opinion, I mean, Tuchel has done great things at Chelsea, but after the whole interview, I felt like his feelings were hurt, and I feel like the way he handled it showed him more. I mean, people say Lukaku's weak, but I feel like the coach is also weak. For him to show, oh yeah, my feelings have been hurt, so I'm gonna bench him because my feelings are hurt, and we're gonna do this my way or the highway. Whereas he easily could have said, yeah, I understand why you did that, and I understand that you're mad that you're not playing. You want to play, let's get you in and let's do this thing together. And the last thing I wanted to say is the fact that Todd Bowley purchased the club and his first official business is sending Lukaku back to Inter for, I think it's about 8 million euros as a transfer fee, up to 10 million, and Lukaku took a pay cut about 30 or 40%. So I mean, he clearly does not want to be in Chelsea. And my only question would be is, how did it get that bad to where you spent $100 million and the coach is like, you know what, we're better off letting him go? Like, I know some people in the club, their thoughts were, let's give him a second season and see if he pans out and comes good and we can make this work. But to me, my perception is that the coach was just like, told the player, I don't want you, I don't like you, and I'm never going to play to your strengths. So World Cup year, you can sit on a bench and, it's not my money. I don't care what you do. Or, you can leave. And with that in mind, I feel the player had a decision to make, and he decided to do similar to some other players like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, where he decided to take a bet on himself, take a price or a pay cut, and go to a club where he feels like he can be successful. And I know a lot of people are upset with the player and they feel let down, but I would ask those people, why aren't you upset with the coach? Why don't you feel that the coach has let you down? And if he's such a great coach, why isn't he able to get the best out of the player the way that whoever his coach was at Everton and Antonio Conte? And if we're being frank, he was still the top goal scorer, I believe, for Chelsea in one of the competitions, probably was the Premier League. And when he was at Manchester United, people like to say that he was a flop. He was also their highest goal scorer. He was just a scapegoat. And if anything's been shown to you is that Manchester, I won't even get into that. Anyway, that's all I got. Just wanted to get on wax and talk about that. So we'll be back with another full episode this weekend, and they should hold you over until then. All right, later.